Any other women who just never get approached? I have never been approached by a guy or a girl for the record, but I'm straight, so focusing on the dudes here lol. I've never had a guy ask me out, confess a crush, never had a friend find out that someone had feelings for me, never been called pretty by a guy who wasn't related to me, nobody asked me to dance at school dances, thankfully haven't been catcalled, at least that's a perk. There has been no point in my life where I have turned down or accepted a guy in a romantic way because I've literally never had anyone bother. In middle school and high school I was extremely shy and really only showed my real personality to my close friends. As for fashion, I wasn't super into it, so I didn't stand out much in a crowd either. Nowadays, I'm very talkative in social situations such as my college classes, at work, and when being introduced to new people through my friends. I am also much more into dressing up, and I incorporate accessories and just love trying new outfits. Despite growing so much as a person, this issue with guys hasn't changed. I've also mustered the courage to ask 3 guys out over the past couple of years, they have all said no. When I start talking to a guy, I find myself needing to make the steps forward, such as always texting first and asking to hang out has never actually happened, but I'm the one who always has to ask. It feels like nobody will ever put in the same effort I put in. I've always been really confident in myself, so it's hard to feel like you are doing everything right only for all the evidence to point to you being essentially worthless to men. Any other women experiencing the same thing? For those who have gotten out, how do you do it? I wanna be in love lol. Do you make yourself approachable? I see a lot of women I find attractive, in the gym for example, but the way they carry themselves is off-putting to even ask what time it is. XD. I've never dated anyone that hit on me. When I am approached, it's by someone inappropriately different. Way older etc. The last guy looks really old but fit. Still not interested. But come to find out later, he still lives with his woman, but there's nothing between them. Like, come on now. What makes him think that's okay to try to get someone while you live with your woman? That's what bothers me. First time in my life I finally got approached, hit on. It's my coworker who I also like. I always thought I was ugly, but he, who is attractive, thinks I'm sexy. Woman shrugging. Keep your head up, it will happen with the right person. Same applies for men. Last time I got approached was almost a year ago. Unfortunately, it was while being out of town and didn't feel attraction. I'm 36F, I don't expect to be approached anymore when there's much younger and attractive women out there. No input, just relatable, smiley face, heart. I actually had a conversation with a friend where he asked because my friends got hit on at a beach by creepy dudes and I wasn't. It's so silly, but it definitely does get to me sometimes. I'm fit, attractive same as you, not supermodel, but pretty, confident, and very social. Yet nothing. I just feel. People don't bother approaching anyone anymore because they're afraid of coming off as a predator and being judged for it, even if their intentions are pure. The comments on this post are gross and disheartening. The only times I was approached or asked out was as a joke, and no one has ever been attracted to me other than just wanting sex. Yes, the same thing. I've had pretty impetuous romance life. I am married for 16 years, but I've always played an active role in all my relationships. Try dating apps? I'm sorry you're going through this. It's a tough world out there, but it sounds like you have good support from friends. Check out our Forever Alone women and see if you can relate. Why don't you just try approaching yourself? I'm 31 and never been approached by a woman, but I've definitely done my fair share of approaching women as a guy. It's tough, but how can you expect anyone else to do it if you can't do it yourself? I suggest you try online dating. Work hard on getting good pictures, ask your friends for help, don't do it alone, then go from there. Avoid Tinder as it's more of a hookup app. Try Bumble for example. Online dating tends to be a lot easier for women, so you should get some results if you have flattering pictures. It also gets around potential issues with being shy, looking unapproachable, etc. I'm seeing some people say it's because you might not be attractive, but honestly even some plain girls get approached eventually. I think we're just in a climate where men really don't bother approaching anymore due to rejection and not wanting to be labeled as a creep. It's uncomfortable, but maybe use all that talkative energy and approach a guy you find attractive. After all, it's not like you have to wait for a guy, you could take initiative. As a guy, I'm going to answer this by saying it's all speculation until I could see you at a party or gathering where you would be giving off an approachable vibe. Only then would most of us be able to give you any kind of real info. Lol, are you attractive? I am sure many guys have the same experience as you. If you look at the issue at a macro level, it's really just human natural selection for procreation. I don't have your problem, but I think it's best you go for men who might be in similar shoes like you so they can relate to and understand you better. I am seeing more posts these days on this sub about women never being approached. Like many of them. I thought this was extremely unlikely, but apparently not. Is this something more common these days than before, and why? I'm just merely stating my observation. Don't want to seem rude, but maybe you aim too high? I mean, people are most likely to date someone on their level of attractiveness. There are exceptions. Maybe you approach tall pretty boys. Try to approach mid-ugly guy or introvert, then you will succeed. Now some famous TikTok girls made bunch of TikToks saying that they want 6 feet guy, no shorter, and hundreds of millions of their followers installed this criteria into their brain. I am in my late 30s, never ever before girls were so obsessed with guys' height. Now TikTok made them like that. I'm more of a tomboy buddy-ish girl, and that's why men are afraid of approaching me, or so I've been told. I'm basically one of them. I know I'm attractive enough because each one of them tried to date me later on. I just didn't give off that romantic sexual energy in the beginning. Work on your approachability, be confident, flirty. That usually does the trick. Try to befriend some guys too. It seems like there hasn't been much contact yet, so that would be a good opportunity to learn how guys work. If you're in college, you are still quite young. Mutual attraction isn't as rare as it seems. You will find it. Just live your life and pursue your interests. It'll happen for you. And if you feel bummed making the first move, don't bother. Let them woo you and flirt. Sometimes that's just how it goes. To be honest, I think it's good that the number of men approaching women in public has gone down. It's confrontational and awkward. It might just be that you simply haven't met your person yet. And don't put your self-worth on whether men want to date you or not. Men can be really shit usually, and the right one is out there. Keep trying, sister. Most guys are too scared and nervous to cold approach a woman anywhere. Just the way it is. Look at the comments on a lot of the threads in this sub. Women don't want to be bothered, don't want creepy guys hitting on them, etc. etc. If you are only going to bars and clubs to meet men, it's all about looks. I never got hit on by men when I went out because I'm overweight and looked bad in a mini skirt. If you have a decent body, it's all about dressing well, aka short skirt, wear push-up bra, and make sure your cleavage shows, and looking friendly. I think bars and clubs are not good places to meet men just in general. Some men are scared to approach women even when they find them attractive, so that also plays a big part. Are you always reaching for the same type of men? Are these men in your circles? People around you may be saying she throws herself at men. You should try this with more reserved, shy men. You are rare and willing to do what most women won't. It'll work for you eventually. Women lent times to change, but they don't want to change to the times. Just be you, forget about other women, you just may find someone uniquely for you. P.S. At least you know how us guys feel.